Good morning. It's Friday, and it's Ben with I'm Not Licensed. And today, it's Friday, so I thought I would just hop on here and I would make a video on one of these things that, or should I say one of the many things that just kind of like picks at me, right? And what it is love. Love, the translation of love, what some people think is love, what people act like is love, what people believe is love. And obviously, all of it is left to interpretation, right? So, your interpretation of it might be different than mine, which might be different from somebody else's, which might be different from somebody else's. But at the end of the day, it's all still how you feel, right? Perfect example, right? So, me personally, I feel like, physical contact and like closeness is considered is like a love language, right? So when you get into a relationship, as we all know, it's called the honeymoon phase, right? And as the honeymoon phase starts to tank, it goes away. That closeness, that bond, that feeling like you actually fucking matter, you know. It's not just a matter of like, let me make you a plate of food type of thing. It's like, let me go out of my way for you, like you go out of your way for me, right? Um, and as that diminishes, it starts to really pick at me personally. I don't know how it's going to be for you or how it does work for you. But then what do we do? What do? I start to get snappy. I start to get snide, sarcastic. Um, I like to pick at you for things, dumb shit. I mean, things that probably have absolutely no bearing, but it's kind of like my coping mechanism, if you will, because I'm like, why is it that I'm expected to be the same person day in and day out, and I'm supposed to be the person that does this, that, and the other thing, and yet you're not supposed to have to do that, or you choose not to do that? And if we're equals coming into this and we're equals in this, then why is it that we don't have equal input moving forward? Like, why is that with people as a whole, right? Why is it that there is a honeymoon phase, and why does it have to go away? Like, I don't see that it should have to, and I don't look at it like I am any different, right? So when I get into a relationship, what I do is, I want to obviously spend as much time as I possibly can with that person. I want to learn that person. It's been a long time since I've done that, so bear with me. But when you get into a relationship, you want to learn that person, you want to learn their pros and cons, and you want to learn what makes them tick, and you want to learn all the great things about that person, and like, if there's any issues or anything that should be brought to light, and things that you maybe shouldn't tread on, maybe things that you could probably talk about, so on and so forth, right? And then as that relationship starts to kind of like drive down the road, it's almost as if you start to get to one of those, Florida Department of Transportation construction zones, which we have so many of here in Florida. It's just full of potholes and uneven lanes and lane shifting and this and that and the other thing. But you're the one driving, right? So you're the one that's driving this fucking car, and you're the one that's supposed to stay on the road. You're supposed to avoid the potholes. You're supposed to make sure that you shift lanes when you're supposed to. Make sure you're supposed to do all the things that you're supposed to as a driver, and make sure that you and your family that are in the car are safe, right? But what's everybody else doing? They're not doing it. They're not driving. They're all on their phones. They're all fucking off. And I just use that as a metaphor because somebody has to drive the car. And yet, if not everybody's paying attention and only one person's paying attention, well, what happens if there's an accident? Well, who do you blame? You blame the person that was driving, right? So when the relationship starts to tank, who gets the blame? The guy gets the blame, of course, you know. And maybe sometimes it's the woman that gets the blame because the woman was the one that was being the, I guess the dominant of the two during the relationship. But most of the time, it's the man. It's always the say always. It's such a total word. I really have to stop doing that. It's so hard though, because we all do it. Everyone, no one, everything, no nothing. All those total words. But the person that's it feels like is putting forth the most effort in it to make sure that it stays the way that it began is usually the one that's to blame in the end. I mean, do you find that the case in your life, and your post post fuck I can't even speak, in your relationships over your lifetime? I mean, that's kind of how it was for me. I mean, granted, sure, I was an alcoholic and I was very much to blame for a lot of the downfall of my marriage. But moving forward, I look at it like I'm trying to approach life a little bit differently. And so therefore, should I be the sole responsible party for why it is that when you climb into bed with somebody and you are being affectionate and maybe even to borderline foreplay and whatnot, and things are starting to go in the right direction, and then all of a sudden that person's just sawing logs? Why would that be your fault, right? It's crazy. I don't get it. And then you're the one to blame when you're like, hey, I think it's been a couple days since we've been intimate. How about what's the problem? What's the problem? What can we do to fix it? And then it's like, well, I'll just be a willing participant, and then you can just have your way, and then it's just a done deal, and then at least you can quit bitching about not getting it. I'm like, I mean, is that really the way it's supposed to be? Every couple of days you just smash one out, and it's like, gets him off my back. She doesn't care. Feels like you're just going through the motions. I don't know. But you don't really feel anything. I mean, even from a guy's standpoint, it's like, sure, yeah, I love to just smash one out as much as the next guy, but at some point you want that closeness. You want that feeling of love, that intimacy. You want to feel like your partner's actually getting into it and that they're actually enjoying it as much, if not more than you are. So when you're not, it's like, for me personally, that feels like kind of like an attack on my emotions, as if you're not loved as much as you were, or as much as you say that you are. And it's a real tough struggle, because for somebody that's in my case, that's almost 50 years old, and you just want to be happy. You want to be happy with somebody. You want to build with that person, and then you start building with somebody, and then it's like, and then halfway through the construction process, they're like, we can get to that later. We can add on another wall later. We can put on a door later, a window later. We can do all these things later. We'll just slow roll it for right now. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because, everybody's different, and you might be the type of person that wants that. I might be the type of person that wants it. I want to build with somebody. I want to go to bed at night and be 100% happy. I want to wake up in the morning and be 100% happy. Do things happen, and do arguments and debates and stuff sprout up over time? Absolutely. I mean, you're not always going to be on the same page all the time, but you want to be those things most of the time. So when you come out here and you sit next to the pool and you start to think to yourself, like, is it worth it? Is it ever going to be what you want it to be? I don't know. You know, do we? I don't know the answer. You know, I feel like, and I've said this over the years, like many, many, many years, even like prior to my marriage, was, you know, everybody compromises. Everybody compromises. And the reason why I say that is because, like, nobody's going to go out there and find 100% the person that you're looking for. And if you have, I want to meet the both of you, because I want to talk to both of you. And I would even love to go so far as to have a therapist friend of mine interview the both of you to find out, is it in fact 100% compatibility? And I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think so. You know, it's just such a unicorn situation, right? So everybody has to compromise. You have to. You know, you're not going to find the girl that has the hair and the boobs and the butt and then the attitude and the work ethic and the partnership and the finances and the drive, and also, you know, likes to wake up in the morning and do adult stuff, or do adult stuff before you go to bed, or do adult stuff on the couch. And then also on top of that, you know, doesn't mind going fishing with you, or sitting in the game room and watching you play video games, or playing video games with you. So does that person that's 100% compatible really exist? No, they don't. Do we strive to find the person that is as close to that as we possibly can? Absolutely. Do we get caught up with people that treat us what we feel like is really, really well, only to realize that you are probably not going to be the end game? Because if you're not building the end game at the beginning of a relationship, or building towards the end game at the beginning of a relationship, what the fuck are you doing? Filling your time? But then you also do these things where you may or may not be filling your relationship with end game material, but you're wondering, do I stay around longer though? Do I play it out a little bit longer? Can I get what I'm looking for? Am I ever going to get what I'm looking for? Is this person capable of giving me what I'm looking for? And the answer is always, I don't know. I don't know. Now, there's going to be those people, I'm sure, that we're going to come across in our lives that we are absolutely unequivocally going to say, nope, this person is a red flag. I'm only here for a good time, and then I'm out. And then there's other people that you think to yourself and you think, well, you know, I am having a really good time. I do really appreciate the way this person treats me. I am enjoying myself a lot. I feel like we're going in the right direction. And then you have like some days where it's like a lull. It's like and then you just sit back and you wonder, and you like watch this person interact in life, right? And you just watch, and you watch how you don't fit into that person's life all the time. And you wonder to yourself, but if I do that for you, why don't you do that for me? I don't know. I spent a lot of years just being self-centered, arrogant, you know, bitchy, bossy, whatever, all of those bad traits, you know, being an alcoholic, fuck, and it'll do you so bad. And it'll also do the people around you really bad. But, you know, when you clean up and you sober up and you start to see life in a different light, you know, and I'm not saying that, I'm not a book beater or anything of that nature. And if you are, hey, that's great. That's on you. Good for you. Everybody needs a different type of coping mechanism. And if that's your coping mechanism, great. Use it and use the power of it to get where you need to be. But for me personally, I quit just on sheer willpower. Just stop drinking. It's over. And I just see things differently now. And I see people differently. And I react and interact differently with people. But the person that just wants to be loved and wants to spend time with somebody else and wants to grow and enjoy that time and wants to just lay in bed with that person in the morning, maybe that person calls in sick that day and says, hey, listen, I'm going to call in sick today. I want to spend the day with you, whether it's in bed, whether it's on the couch, whether it's out running errands. Who gives a shit, right? As long as you and that person are spending time together, that job will be there tomorrow. That job and all that work will be there another day. You don't get to turn back the hands of time. You do not get to rewind the clock. We don't get to go back and say, hey, I really wish I had started something a little bit differently in this relationship when we first started. Can we try again? Can we start over? You don't get to do that. You're here in the now, in the present, and everything behind you is behind you, and you only have the future to look forward to. And the reality is that tomorrow's not guaranteed to anybody. So if that's the case, then wouldn't you want to put forth your best effort on a daily basis every single day with that person? Case in point, right? So if you have kids, well, guess what? Your job as I said before, isn't to be your kid's best friend. It's not to wipe their ass. It's to teach them how to become productive in life and society. Because what's going to happen? Those kids are going to move out. And what is that going to do for you? It's going to leave you at home to watch TV or do whatever it is that you're going to end up doing. But if you're too busy with your head up your kids' ass to put forth some effort into an adult that's going to be there after your kids move out, go to college, get married, grow up, whatnot, then what does that do? You're just burning your life away at that point. And then what is the person on the other end of that relationship? What do they tell themselves? I can't fucking believe I spent all this time with this person. Wasted it, spent the time with it, put the time in, whatever the description would be, only to find out that it didn't work out in the end. Case in point, I spent almost 20 years with this person. 20 years. We were married for like 18 years. Only to find out that it just wasn't the end game. Almost half of my life. For what? Don't get me wrong. I got an absolutely fucking stellar kid out of it. But what is that for me? I don't have anything. My kid's older. She's moved on. She's married. She's in the military now. She's moved on. She's got a life of her own. We still communicate and everything. But again, you spend all this time putting in all this effort to a person, and then they're gone, and then you're like, well, shit, now what? Now you look across the couch at the person that you're married to, and you go, I don't even know you. Why? Because we were too busy dealing with this thing. And I say this thing, I'm obviously being funny because, it's your kid. Then that's just the way I talk about her. But, and it's just people in general. Like, that's how it is. Like, at the end of it all, you just look across the couch and, your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or, whatever it is that whoever your partner is, and you think, where do we go from here? What do we do? We are not building anything now. Are we supposed to build it in the future? The future is not guaranteed. I don't know. Just for me personally, like I said before, it's it's a love thing. I spent a lot of time with one person, and you want to just find that other person that makes you happy. And I hope that everybody finds that person that does make you happy. And maybe you never do. Maybe it's a lot of people. Maybe you live in Utah and you've got a few people that make you happy. But do they really make you happy? Or are they just filling a void? I don't know. Is that all we're here for? We're just here on Earth for 70, 80, 90 years at a time, and all we're doing is just filling a void. Excuse me. I don't know. But while we're here, don't we want to do what we possibly can to make sure that we have a happy life? You want to walk around in life just being angry and miserable all the fucking time? I mean, I did it. It's not any fun. It's not productive. You put on a happy face for people that matter to you. You put on a happy face for clients and customers and, potential clients and potential customers and people that you interact with on a regular basis. But are you really happy? Only you can answer that. And if you're not, who do you talk to? Do you talk to your spouse? Do you talk to your partner? When you talk to your spouse or your partner, do they just put you off? Is it another one of those, another one of these? Oh, God, what is it now? Oh, my God. Didn't we already talk about this? Like you're just, you're just taking up my personal time to talk about your feelings. And it's like, okay, well, I thought that's what we were supposed to do. I thought we were in this together, but obviously we're not. But I don't know. That's just me. That's what this channel is for. I just want to be able to come on here and vent in a non-biased way. And, somebody watches this and feels the same way. Happy, man. Comment. Subscribe. Share. All of those things that everybody on YouTube says to do because it helps the channel. Yes, it helps the channel, but does it help the channel or does it help you get paid? I mean, I could go with both, but do people ever actually say that? I watch a lot of YouTube channels, and I can tell you right now, they don't. I wouldn't mind. Don't get me wrong. I would not mind sitting here having these discussions with you guys and talking about my life and in hopes of helping somebody else in theirs.